Well, welcome to the San Diego Argonauts sailpoint races for the month of March. This is the ODOM class. One design, 1 meter. There's about 30 seconds until the start. That's a fair start line that you're looking at between the two red buoys. Wind's been 6 or 8 knots. It's getting a little light right now. Call for 30 seconds. So we see some boats maneuvering for the start.
Oh, jeez. It's still floating, so use it.
We had a speedboat hit one of our weather marks, but he didn't destroy it, so we're still going to use it even though it got taken apart. 10 seconds till the start. Everybody's positioning themselves. 10 boats on the line.
4, 3, 2, 1.
There we go. I am the red boat with the red stripe on the jib. I got a pretty good start. I had pretty good speed. Wasn't right at the pin, but I was close enough. I probably could not tack right now if I wanted to. If I got headed, I think the boat behind me might prevent me from tacking. I'm starting to move out a little bit, so he's sailing a little higher. So I like being able to tack to port if I were to get headed. So right now I'm kind of pinned, and so I'm just trying to make the boat go fast. My eyes are glued on the telltales on the jib. I use VHS tape, which I think is a little more than a ½ inch thick. And we've tacked over to port. And it looks like most of the fleet's coming over on port. I'm in pretty good shape on the fleet. Certainly have clear air, that's a very important criteria. Reasonably good heel on the boat. I'm sure I have the sails in all the way with this much heel on the boat. When the wind gets a little bit lighter, I'll crack those sails open just a touch, keep the boat moving. So I like my position. You can see I'm headed toward a little bit of shallow water here. Nice deep keel on the ODOM, so I can't go in too close. Well, there's pretty shifty wind. Well, that looked like that was a starboard, kind of a starboard tack shift. It's still a little light. I'm just watching the boat, watching the heel, watching the telltales on the jib, trying to figure out what's going on. There we go, there's a little air, a little traffic around me. That's our weather mark, which got kind of broken apart by a speedboat hitting it, but it did. Number 82 tacked, then it was my turn to go in. There's some boats cutting inside, but if there's room, they're entitled to do that. Now I stayed a little bit high, and I had clear air, so I had pretty good speed going to that offset mark. I think I'm in 3rd place at this point.
A lot of buffing going on there, blue boat and white boat.
I think I'm trying to keep my air clear as much as possible and reach down. We have a good group of boats here, so keeping the air clear is going to be pretty challenging. But I got to the weather mark in pretty good shape, so I'm pretty happy about that. My usual formula, or my desire, is clear air, clear start, be on the line. Try to sail on the lifts. We didn't have too much in the way of shifts on this beat, so just sailing fast was the main thing. So we're going to break off here and head over to race number 2. Alright, here's race number 2 of our 3 races for today for the sail points. Of course, I'm the red boat that's pretty much in the center of the screen. I've got a camera that's velcroed on the top of my hat. Wherever my head is turned is the picture you're going to see. 6 to 8 knots of wind coming right down the pond, our usual westerly wind. It's a beautiful day. "40 seconds until the start. Boats are just maneuvering around at this point. I like to be just depending on what the line looks like, but for a fair line like this, I like to be just weather of the pin at about 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
And then work in from there. So at 20 seconds I was just weather of the pin. I'm going to make a wide circle, come around in on starboard, 7 seconds until the start.
5, 4, 3.
I want to be right at the pin, underway when the ding goes off. Now I was a little late. I was maybe a boat length behind. Maybe that's a second or so. And I had some traffic that was just leeward of me, so I tacked off as soon as I got going just to clear my air. Now we're headed over to the beach. This is not much of a lift. As a matter of fact, it's a pretty good header, but hopefully when we go back on starboard, it'll look pretty good for us. Yeah, nice heel on the boat. I'm right behind the green boat there. Red stripe helps me pull that boat right out when I look across the pond. Not much of a lift going on here. Not looking real good, but we do have good air, so could be worse. I'm kind of pinned behind the green boat. I tell you, I think I would have been tacking to get over to what I think is some better air on this side of the pond, but I can't get there. So I'm on starboard. I think I'm still holding on starboard. A little hard to see. I think I just went over to port just now. Again, that stripe on the jib helps me pick my boat up. So, you know, it looks like I've got some pretty good speed. Ducking a starboard tacker, ducking another starboard tacker, working across on port. That wind looks like it's getting a little bit light in places on the pond. Tacking back on the starboard. Now that's a nice starboard tack lift. Well, didn't last very long. Wind's a little swirly. It's getting a little light here. I want to keep the boat moving. I'm pretty new to ODOM sailing. I've been sailing it a couple of months, and I've discovered that I can stall it, and once it gets stalled, it's really, really difficult to get the boat moving again. So I've got some nice speed here.
Oh, you tacking into me, 82?
No, 82. I wanted to make sure he wasn't tacking into me. He went head to wind, which is just fine.
You did not tack.
Not past head to wind. Once he goes past head to wind, he is tacking. He did not do that until I tacked and headed off on starboard. So that was just that was a fine maneuver on his part. He was trying to encourage me to tack over to starboard to get around the mark, which I was happy to do. I didn't want to go any further than the ley line, but I did want to get to the ley line. So as we go around the offset mark, I'm working to keep my air clear. I'm looking at that telltale that I have on the top of my mast. Where's the wind coming from? I'm working hard to make sure it stays clear, that I don't have boats blanketing me. If the wind were directly from behind and those boats were blanketing, I'd be headed to the right or to the left to clear my air. Also, in this lighter air, reaching up a little bit is going to give me better boat speed. There are problems in doing that, but again, want to keep the air clear. Not going to be going fast if you're sailing somebody's dirty air. Most of the problem going downwind. Okay, well, I'm in okay shape, and we're going to break off here, and we're going to head on to race number 3, our last race of the day. Okay, here's race number 3. Wind's gotten a little light. This is more down in the 4 to 6 knot category right now.
50 seconds.
About 50 seconds until the start. I'm just kind of reaching back and forth weather of the line because that's where I've got clear air. Lets me see better, feel better what's going on with the wind.
30 seconds. 20 seconds.
20 seconds till the start. I'm a little early for where I'd like to be typically, but the wind is a little lighter, so it's going to take me a little longer to get around. 10 seconds till the start. Of course, I want to be at the pin, at speed. That's my objective.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Well, I was in the right place. I was at speed, although there wasn't a lot of wind. Again, I'm the red boat with the red stripe on the jib. Boats at the far end are working out very nicely. They've got some good air down there. Trying to not step in a hole that I've stepped in almost every race I've raced today. There's some air coming in. Boat starts heeling. See the boat accelerate. Boat starts moving. Once it's moving, those sails come right in. If the boat's not moving, I'll let those sails out a little bit. Don't want to try to pinch a boat that's not moving. So I'm in pretty good shape here. Don't know what the wind's going to be doing, but right now I'm in pretty good shape on the fleet. Staying with starboard, looking around trying to figure out where's the wind, what's going on. Most of the fleet's behind me to my leeward side, so I'm in pretty good shape on the fleet. They're not going to find anything that I don't get first, I hope. Looks like I've tacked over to port. Looks to me like I've got my sails cracked out a little bit, trying to get the boat moving. Oops, some nice heel there. That means I've got some nice air. So we get the boat moving. After the boat's moving, pull the sails in, get it on the wind. I'm looking at the telltale on top of my boat when the wind changes direction as much as it's doing out here. Also to get the strength. It's a streamer, not an arrow. And the telltales on the jib. Those are my keys. Last thing you want to be doing is sailing a boat that's stalled, has a stalled jib, because you're just not going to go anywhere. Okay, the winds come around to the right, so that's a nice starboard tack lift. Oops, there's the lift going away. See if it comes back, what I'm going to have to do here. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to tack back onto port. 82 is going to come around, but I'm clear enough in front of him. I can tack, and I'm going to be first around the weather mark. Whoops. Well, I made it around the weather mark. Looks like some other boats didn't.
That's a port and starboard.
I think somebody tried to sneak in on port there at the last minute, which didn't work. Okay, so we're around the offset mark. We're going downwind. It's kind of light. Got to keep the air clear. That's why I use my telltale. See where that apparent wind is coming from. Make sure my air is staying clear. Stay between the competition and the next mark. Those are some of the watchwords. And we've got a sailboat race. Okay, well, I wanted to cover the starts and the weather leg. I think if you can do a good job with those, then the rest of the race will take care of itself, pretty much. So with that, we'll sign off for the March sail points for the ODOM, and we hope to see you next month. Oh, one other thing, the ODOM Nationals are going to be here at the pond later this year in August. So watching these videos might get some tips of what kind of conditions we have at the pond, what it's like sailing here. So take care. Hope to see you next month.